The human mind is a master of camouflage, especially when it comes to the vulnerability of attraction. When a woman experiences a deep pull toward a man but isn't ready to expose her heart, she enters a state of psychological conflict. On the outside, she may appear composed, even indifferent, but beneath the surface, a storm of neurochemicals, dopamine, oxytocin, and norepinephrine, is driving her behavior in ways she cannot fully suppress. If you know how to look past the mask, you will see that her silence isn't empty. It is heavy with everything she is trying not to say. 1. The paradox of calculated restraint. When a person is indifferent to you, their energy is relaxed. They laugh without checking themselves. They speak without filtering their thoughts. But when a woman secretly harbors feelings, she becomes hyper-aware of her own output. You will notice a measured quality to her interactions. She pauses before she speaks, ensuring her voice doesn't betray her excitement. Her laughter, while genuine, is often cut short as if she is suddenly reminded to be careful. This is not a lack of interest. It is the act of a woman trying to keep her internal world from leaking into the external one. She is editing her reality in real time because, to her, revealing her desire feels like losing power. 2. The emotional safety audit, subtle testing. Unlike the games played in shallow dating, a woman with deep, hidden interest will perform what psychologists call risk assessment behavior. She isn't trying to manipulate you. She is trying to see if you are a safe harbor for her emotions. She might subtly challenge your opinions or create a small moment of friction to see how you react. Does your ego flare up? Do you become needy and defensive? Or do you remain grounded and unshaken? If you stay calm, you pass the test she didn't even realize she was giving. She is looking for emotional stability, a man who can handle his own nervous system so that one day he might be able to handle hers. 3. The quiet displacement of jealousy. Hidden attraction manifests as covert comparison. She won't throw a tantrum if you mention another woman, but she will go incredibly still. It's a sudden drop in the room's temperature. She becomes a silent observer, cataloging the traits of the woman you mentioned and comparing them to herself. Later, you might notice her subtly highlighting those same traits in her own life. If you mention you like ambitious women, she will casually bring up her recent career wins a few days later. This is a silent competition for your focus, born from the fear that someone else might claim the space she secretly wants for herself. 4. The intensity of the post-closeness. Withdrawal. One of the most confusing signs for men is the emotional recoil. You share a deep, soulful conversation where for a few minutes the walls come down. There is a spark, a shared look, a moment of pure connection. Then the next day, she is icy or distant. This isn't because the connection failed, it's because it was too successful. That moment of intimacy scared her. It felt too real, too fast. She retreats into her shell to regain her sense of self and to protect her heart from the vulnerability of being seen. The stronger the connection was, the further she might pull back to recalibrate. 5. Microcalibrations of proximity. The body has a mind of its own. Even if she is pretending not to notice you, her biological instincts will pull her toward you. Observe her spatial orientation. In a crowded room, her feet and torso will often be angled toward you, even if she's speaking to someone else. She will find logical reasons to be in your physical orbit, sitting at the same table, walking the same path, or standing just a few inches closer than social norms require. This is the magnetic pull of attraction. She wants to feel your energy, to be within the reach of your presence, without having to initiate a formal interaction. 6. Intellectual integration and influence. When a woman values a man, she begins to integrate his mind into her own decision-making process. She may ask for your perspective on a work project, a personal dilemma, or even something trivial. It's not that she needs your help, she is highly capable, but she wants to see the world through your lens. She is checking for value alignment. If she starts using your phrases, referencing your favorite books, or adopting your logic in her arguments, she isn't just listening to you, she's absorbing you. This is a sign of deep psychological intimacy that precedes a physical relationship. 7. Hyper-retention of the invisible details. A woman who secretly wants you is a historian of your life. She will remember the name of your childhood dog, the specific way you like your coffee, or a passing comment you made about your fears 6 months ago. While others hear what you say, she hears what you mean. When she brings up these tiny, invisible details, it's her way of saying, I see you more clearly than anyone else does. It is an act of devotion disguised as a good memory. 8. The defensive mask of professionalism or platonicity. Sometimes a woman will overcompensate for her feelings by being too professional or too much of a bro. She might call you dude or friend with a bit too much emphasis. She talks about guy stuff with you or keeps the conversation strictly focused on business. This is a smokescreen. By labeling the relationship so clearly, she creates a safe boundary that prevents her from accidentally acting on her feelings. If the friendship or professionalism feels forced or slightly unnatural, it's likely because she's using it as a shield. 9. The presence of liquid eye contact. There is a specific type of eye contact that occurs when someone is fighting an attraction. It's heavy, lingering, and slightly dilated. You'll catch her looking at you with a gaze that feels heavy, but as soon as you meet her eyes, she looks away or masks it with a joke. This is the struggle between the primitive brain, which wants to stare at a desired mate, and the social brain, which wants to hide interest. If you feel a weight behind her gaze, trust that feeling. It's the pressure of unexpressed emotion. 10. Subconscious physical grooming, preening. When you enter the room, does she immediately touch her hair? Does she straighten her clothes or adjust her posture? This is an ancient cross-cultural biological signal known as preening. Even if she is pretending she doesn't care you're there, her biology is trying to make her as attractive as possible for the potential mate. It's an involuntary reaction triggered by the spike in her heart rate when she sees you. 11. She defends your reputation in your absence. A woman who wants you is your fiercest silent ally. If she hears someone speaking ill of you, she will either shut them down directly or subtly redirect the conversation to highlight your virtues. She feels a sense of loyalty to you that hasn't been earned by a formal relationship yet. Her protection of your social image is a sign that she already views you as hers in her mind. 12. The mirroring of your emotional state. If you are having a bad day, she will suddenly seem subdued. If you are excited, her energy will lift to match yours. This is emotional contagion, and because she's so highly tuned to your frequency, she cannot help but vibrate at the same level. Indifferent people are not affected by your mood. Someone who secretly wants you is deeply impacted by it because their empathy for you is heightened by their attraction. 13. The total vulnerability of the final break. Eventually, the pressure of pretending becomes too much. This usually happens during a moment of crisis or extreme joy. If she reaches out to you first when she gets bad news, or if she is the first person who wants to celebrate your success, the mask has finally fallen. In moments of high emotion, we go to the person our heart belongs to, not the person we are supposed to talk to. Her presence in your most vulnerable moments is the ultimate confirmation that she doesn't just want you, she trusts you. Understanding these signs requires more than just observation. It requires emotional intelligence. If you see these patterns, do not rush her. Do not force her to admit it before she is ready. Instead, continue to be the steady, safe, and grounded man she is already falling for. The truth doesn't need to be shouted to be real. Sometimes it is best heard in the silence between her words. The human heart is a labyrinth of contradictions. We often fear the very thing we desire most, and we protect our vulnerabilities with walls of indifference. Throughout this discussion, we have deconstructed 13 psychological markers. But these aren't just data points, they are the quiet echoes of a soul in conflict. When a woman shows these signs, she has unknowingly invited you into a private war she is waging within herself. It is a battle between her need for self-preservation and an undeniable magnetic pull toward your essence. But now, a crucial question remains: what do you do with this realization? Many men, upon discovering these hidden signals, feel the urge to confront them immediately. They want to force a confession or demand clarity. But you must understand that hidden attraction is as fragile as it is intense. If you try to force a flower to bloom before its time, you risk tearing its petals. The safety she is searching for in you is the assurance that if she finally drops her guard, she won't find a hunter, but a sanctuary. She is waiting to see if you are a man who can handle the weight of her unspoken truth without turning it into a game of ego. The ultimate truth is this: A woman will only reveal her heart when she is certain that you are capable of hearing what she doesn't say. Love, in its most profound form, isn't found in loud declarations or grand gestures. It is found in the spaces between breaths, in the lingering look she gives you when she thinks you aren't watching, and in the way she defends your name in a room full of strangers. Take a moment to look around your life. Perhaps there is someone in your orbit right now who is using these 13 signs as a shield. Perhaps she is waiting for a sign from you, not a direct confrontation, but a consistent, grounded presence that whispers, "It's okay, I see you. You are safe here." Life is fleeting, and the tragedy of human connection is often the things we leave unsaid. We spend years building fortresses around our feelings, only to realize that the person we wanted was standing right outside the gate, waiting for an invitation. Do not let these moments pass you by. Learn to read the language of the eyes and the rhythm of the silences, because at the end of the day, we aren't looking for someone who just hears our voice. We are looking for the one person who understands our silence. If you have recognized these patterns in someone special, realize that the ball is not in your court to win, but to lead with empathy. Be the man who provides the stability her heart is currently lacking. When the mask finally falls, and it will, ensure that the man she finds underneath is the one she hoped you were all along. The most beautiful stories aren't always the ones written in ink. They are the ones felt in the quiet, charged air of a room where two people know everything, yet say nothing.